The following program is to provide entertainment and information. It is not considered to be any legal or investment advice. Good morning, appraisers. Let's talk some real estate. You're listening to the Voice of Appraisal, the #1 appraisal podcast in America that brings you the latest news and information from the front lines of the real estate market. Anything from market conditions, appraisal regulations, cryptocurrencies, big bank news. Folks, you have a question, we have all of the answers. We are your one-stop source for all of your real estate appraisal information needs. If you want to be in the know, you have definitely tuned in to the right show. I'm your host, Phil Crawford. Happy to have all of you here with me today. Kevin, what's wrong with your microphone? What's wrong?
Just some technical issues, but I think it's because of what I said last week.
Jeez, oh, please.
So
Kevin's,
now I'm in a timeout.
Kevin's microphone is not working today, so that's all right, but we're going to get through with it because it's a very important show, Kevin. It's a very important show.
5 years.
We've been on this show for 5 years. 5 years. Can you believe that?
Awesome.
April 2014 was when Voice of Appraisal came out. And over the course of the last 5 years, we have boldly gone where very few appraisers have ever gone before. We've asked the very difficult questions. We brought up uncomfortable things. We've also become a little bit, controversial. But it's been a terrific time. And I do want to thank everybody. I want to thank all the listeners out there that have backed up Voice of Appraisal and supported us over the years. We really do appreciate it. Kevin and I plan on being here for another 5 years, God willing, at least, and we're always going to bring the latest news and information to you all, and I cannot thank you enough for supporting the show all of these years. It's been terrific. Now, we've got a lot of news and information to go over. I just got back from the big ASA get-together in Atlantic City. Actually, I didn't say it right. Atlantic City, New Jersey. I met with the New Jersey chapter of the American Society of Appraisers, and it was a good time. We broke down antitrust. We also broke down the blockchain. My blockchain presentation is getting pretty powerful. People were laughing, crying, weeping. Some people were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We got biblical, Kevin. We get biblical when it comes to the blockchain. So if you'd like to see my blockchain presentation again, I'll be giving it again this year. The next time I'll be giving it will be in Columbus at the Ohio Coalition of Appraisal Professionals, their summer seminar in June. I don't have the exact dates in front of me right now. We'll get those dates for you. Jonathan Miller will be flying in from New York, and we'll be breaking down some fun stuff there at the OCAP Summer Seminar. But a big thank you to the ASA, the American Society of Appraisers. I got to hang out with John Russell, got to hang out with all those good people, hung out with some personal property appraisers, breaking down some artwork. That was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with A-Now Software, with Data Master, with John Torvey from Landy Insurance. He was there as well. All sponsors, as well as the ASA, to Appraiser Fest 2018. Good people out there watching out for appraisers every step of the way. So lots of news, Kevin. Lots of news to go over. Lots of information to go over. But I got to bring it up. Did you pull it up? Pull that up one more time. Did you pull it up? Because here's the thing. I got 2 appraisals this week, private jobs, and I said, what do you need the appraisal for? And they said, we want to get a pre-listing appraisal. And I said, okay, have you talked to an agent? Have you talked to a broker? Have you gotten a BPO done? And they said, no, I'm going to list it on Zillow. What? Zillow! And you got it right there. What does that say? It's I sell it, right? I sell it. I was talking with an agent friend of mine who's also an appraiser from Cincinnati, and she was doing her, she was doing her workout thing. She does like that workout, that workout kickboxing thing or something like that. She was doing that this morning, and her instructor told her about I sell it, right? I sell it from Zillow. It says here, post a listing for free, including a video and unlimited photos. I'm looking right here at it. Your home will be listed on Zillow and Trulia, so they got to deal with Trulia now. They got a Trulia deal.
I don't know about that.
They're Trulia, reaching the largest audience of home shoppers on the web. Home shoppers receive instant emails about new listings. You know, one of the big arguments that I've been working on over the past, say, 12 months is the fact of the days on market. Okay, so days on market in most markets, or in some markets, are really low. Like 5 days on average, 5 days on market. So my thought on it is that maybe there isn't as much demand, or maybe there is the demand, but the reason why it's 5 days instead of an average of 30 days is because it's just the way business is done. So in other words, when a listing is put out there, it's then thrown out to about 10,000 smartphones, and about 10,000 people get it, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I got to go check this house out. I got to check a house out. And I think that's what's starting to bring your average days on market, which back 10 years ago would have been 30, 35, 40. Now it takes it down to 5 because of technology. Well, Kevin, now you don't even need the real estate agent because you just list it on Zillow.
Bye.
Talk about drop the mic, you know? Richard Barton, that's who you need to understand is taking over Zillow. Now, who was it? See, Zillow CEO Spencer Rascliffe is out. Co-founder Rich Barton is taking over. Now, understand some background on Richard Barton. This is from an old LA Times article from 2006. It says here, Richard Barton launched Expedia.com. So Expedia.com, who helped transform the travel industry by handing consumers the same tools to book reservations that travel agents had long controlled. He took out the travel agency business. I mean, there was travel agents all over the place, right? Yeah. Richard Barton destroyed all of them with Expedia.com. I think Expedia.com is the number one travel group today, right? He's going after the agents. And I firmly believe that the 2 deals I got this week were both like, hey, look, I'm just going to go ahead and list on Zillow. I'm not going to pay the agent or their commission. I'm just going to list on Zillow. Now, I've also been told, Kevin, that agents in my neck of the woods are really competing with each other as far as bringing their commission rates down to get listings and stuff. But again, that's capitalism. You know, that's free market. So if this guy gets in here with Zillow, I've already gotten 2 orders. A good friend of mine who's an appraiser and an agent, she goes to her Taekwondo thing this morning, and her instructor's already heard about it. Something's going on, folks, and I'll tell you right now, I have a sneaky feeling that 40 to 50% of the agents out there today are going to be looking for a different line of work in the next 24 months. Unbelievable. Now, what does this mean for us? This means that we have the capability to jump in there, because that Zestimate, everybody knows that Zestimate on Zillow's a bunch of horse shit. Everybody knows that. They all say there's a discrepancy of 30% here, 30%. I think they paid some dude $1 million because he can make it a little bit better because they knew it sucked. So we're going to need to have appraisals done. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to really get in this market. Now, for those of you that are industry syndicate members that are listening to this show, you better start thinking about what you're doing. You have got to become more of an advisor than just a real estate agent or a mortgage broker. Your advisor side has got to come out more and more and more. But Richard Barton, what's it called? I Sell It? They got Flow on there? Is there Flow?
That's a commercial thing.
Oh, that's a commercial. Okay, what is that?
There's 4,200 homes.
Oh, look at that.
Right
Oh, wait a second. Oh.
Oh.
What'd you pull up? Erlanger, Kentucky? Pull up Cincinnati really quick. Let me check that out. It's under for sale, right? For sale. Cincinnati, Ohio. On Zillow. For sale by owner. Is that right, Kevin? I mean, seriously, is that right? For sale by owner? Okay, there's 286 listings in Cincinnati right now on Zillow. 286, Cincinnati, Ohio, for sale by owner. Wow. Kevin.
See ya.
Bye. So what are all these real estate agents going to do? Kevin, I have no idea. What are we going to do with them?
Go to work for Fannie Mae.
Oh, okay, going to go to work. These real estate agents are going to be hard up for work. It's as simple and easy as that. There's a new article out of the OC Register. Now, the gentleman that wrote this article, he's a really nice guy, and we did an interview with him, and it didn't take very well. There was a reverb, there was a weird noise, and it didn't do very well. But his name is Jeff Largeson, and he's with mortgagegrader.com, And he wrote an article that said Fannie Mae's decision to use real estate agents as appraisers is risky. So industry syndicate guys, listen to me on this. Listen to me. Your world is changing. Your world is changing very, very quickly, so you have to get ready for this. But he does a terrific job in the article breaking down what appears to be Fannie Mae's structure on these PIWs, property inspection waivers, and then, of course, the different tiers that Fannie uses to, quote-unquote, bifurcate their risk assessment on collateral. So I guess what ends up happening is Chuck, the collateral underwriter, looks at the loan. If it doesn't like it, then it orders an inspection to be done. That inspection, I guess, is done by an agent. They go out to the property and they measure the house. Folks, I'm telling you something. Going inside of a home is a risky scenario for anybody. It's extremely risky. That's where this bifurcated space gets to be a little bit dirty. because it's one thing to bifurcate if you're doing a low LTV, 25% loan to value, equity line, portfolio acquisition, portfolio management, pre-foreclosure drive-by, whatever. Any of those type of products, I can totally understand a bifurcated or a desktop situation. And I know a lot of you out there are doing bifurcated and desktop products, and I'm not going to beat you up over it because it's not a black and white issue to me. It never has been. I think that the product, if as long as it matches the risk assessment, that you're okay. But now you've got Fannie and Freddie. I guess this is what they call modernization, having real estate agents go out and measure homes and do interior inspections. And again, I've been totally against the interior inspection side, unless it's a real estate appraiser or unless it's an appraiser's assistant or a trainee, someone that's connected to the appraiser. So now they have them out there doing the measurements. What's ironic is, my dear friends, is that real estate agents in town hire my company to go out and measure homes. And I'm sure they do the same for a lot of you out there as well. That's not their specialty. So the funny part is that they pay us to measure homes to make sure that they don't misrepresent the square footage of a home, which is one of the biggest reasons why real estate agents get sued, is because of the misrepresentation of the size of the home. They hire us to do that, and now Fannie Mae is hiring the agent to do our job. I've never seen anything like it before. This can only lead to bad things, and that's exactly what this article is talking about. So as Zillow starts to enter the space, we're going to have a lot of people out there that are looking for work, and I have a sneaky feeling some of them are going to do work for Fannie Mae, and this may not be a good idea. Plus, it's a different set of eyes, folks. I mean, a real estate agent has a different set of eyes on a property than a real estate appraiser does. It's just the way it is. There's just a different set of eyes. It's a different skill set, and I've just never seen these two entities try to tear down, take down, get rid of the real estate appraisal profession. It just appears as if we're going right back to where we were before, but this time, instead of taking away the income verification part of the three-legged stool of the mortgage process, they're just going to take away the valuation side. They can do it just as easy and as better as us, and we'll just send somebody on out that doesn't have that proper skill set. This is not going to be good for taxpayers. Remember, the taxpayers are still on the hook for these companies. They're still in conservatorship. And to see this happen, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to get political with you guys. I don't do that, okay? I don't want to get political, and as most of you know, I'm a political atheist. Until somebody brings back Glass-Steagall, I don't want to hear anything, because no one's talking about bringing that back at all. And that should be a bipartisan effort right then and there. But you had the President of the United States in his last State of the Union address say, we will never be a socialist country. Well, did anybody ever tell the president about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? Because this is straight out of Karl Marx socialism is what did this. It's unbelievable. Socialized lending, socialized housing. Real estate agents going out of business because Barton is going to just take 40% of them out of the equation. Kevin, this is the world that we're living in 5 years later. I mean, we were here when all of it went down. We were here when they came out with Chuck Up Chuck. That's what we named it. We named it Chuck Up Chuck, right? We warned them. It was Chuck Up Chuck. And then we heard that was going to be the best thing for appraisers. And now they've got these PIWs, these property inspection waivers. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't handle it anymore. Okay, it's been 5 years. We've dealt with stupidity for 5 years on this side. I just can't handle it anymore. I can't even sit there and get upset about it because it's not worth getting upset over. And there's a lot of people out there that are freaking out. Look, you can't stop this. You can't stop this scenario. You as appraisers are not going to be able to stop Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And what I'm really scared of, this is what's got me the most freaked out, is that usually when an economy is in trouble or it's going to go down or something's wrong with it, you have to bail the financial and monetary system out at any cost necessary. Nothing can get in the way of bailing out the financial system. And when a society is going down to crapper, maybe that's what we're looking at right now. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not going to be all doomsday prepper with you. But I can't sit here anymore and look at what Fannie and Freddie are doing, agree with it or disagree with it, and just get completely mad about it. I just can't do it. It's not. My life is too short for that. And I think yours should be too. But what we can do is we can look at this, and industry syndicate members look at this and say, well, Fannie and Freddie, they're out there, and they're doing their thing. Zillow, this could be a massive Zillow I sell it thing, Kevin. This could be a massive shit show, too. These agents, they do a lot of work. They have to make sure that the offers are correct, the offers are accurate, it's a viable offer. There's a lot of work that's involved. So what I can see now happening is there being some sort of third-party, unbiased, I don't want to use the word auditor. I don't want to use that, but it's just sort of advisor to help people out when buying a home through these processes of for sale by owner. So we need those third-party eyes to look at these transactions and say, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to call an attorney. I'm calling my attorneys up, and I'm saying, look, here's the bottom line. We're going to offer a service. The service will be an evaluation, an appraisal to somebody buying a house, and at the same time, you can review the sales contract and make sure it's okay. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Every single thing that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac does, they'll shut a door on you, but they just opened up new ones for you. They opened up all these other new doors and these new avenues because people need to have consumer protection. Consumer protection is everything. It will be everything for the next 24 months. And a big shout out to Jonathan Miller in his last housing notes because he specifically said, the future of appraisal is consumer protection.
Consumer protection does not exist.
The consumer protection will exist because...
Look at what they've done to the
Why are you...
Look at what they've done to the CFPB.
Now, I know what's going to happen here. I'm like, boy, Phil Crawford, he's beating up President Trump today. He's beating up President... I beat him all up, guys. It's no big deal. I beat him all up. Listen to this. Trump appointee to turn Wall Street watchdog, CFPB, into a financial literacy program. So in other words, the CFPB, which used to be under Richard Cordray, that was a very aggressive CFPB that would go after banks such as like Wells Fargo or payday lenders or things like that. They go after them and get big fines. It appears that the Trump administration's CFPB will be more of a teacher. Exactly, Kevin, to educate the consumers out there as to the fact that you're going to get screwed over. That's probably what the CFP is going to do. Especially consumers going into real estate, man, because there is no easier way on the face of the planet to get screwed over than to be in real estate, okay? I mean, if you're going to buy anything, I would even put real estate above a used car. Because even with the used car now, they have all these new rules and regulations. When blockchain gets in, every single odometer on the face of the planet is going to be on some blockchain. So that's going to be okay. But when it comes to real estate, there's no easier way to get screwed. I mean, you could just get screwed tomorrow. So the CFPB under the Trump administration will be there to give education to the consumers. Well, that's exactly what we're planning on doing. That's what we're doing with the GetMyTrueValue.com movement. That's what we're doing with the new marketing campaign for consumer protection. That's exactly what we're doing. It's going to be a very good product to sell for appraisers. And at the same time, for those of you that are agents and that are brokers, you're going to have to make yourself more of an advisor. You're going to put yourself into an advisor role to be able to help people buy and sell homes, because the days of the quick buck or the quick mortgage broker coming in and making the deal and getting out, you're really going to have to show your worth as a real estate agent from this point on, because Zillow's coming after you. And folks, these guys play for keeps, don't they? They play for keeps. Now, granted, a lot of people know that the quote-unquote Zestimate on Zillow's is whatever, but to save that much money and to try to sell it on their own in today's world, that's going to mean something. You're really going to have to prove your worth as a real estate agent and a mortgage broker when it comes to consumer protection and when it comes to Zillow and when it comes to CFPB. The CFPB, the girl that's taking it over, her name is Kathy Kreninger. Kathy Kreninger, she's going to be taking over the CFPB. She made some comments here in this article. This is out of Market Watch, and I've got to take some issue with it here. She says that the CFPB wants to measure consumer well-being. So I don't know if there's going to be a new index or not coming out of the CFPB to talk about consumer well-being. It says core to that is the control over day-to-day and month-to-month personal finances, as well as a capacity to absorb financial shocks. So she's worried about people out there not being able to absorb financial shocks. And she talks about consumer skills. Confidence in those skills is important. For example, fewer than half of the Americans set aside money for their children's college education. More and more people reach retirement with incomes and savings that simply won't meet their needs. Kreninger spoke of being personally moved by the Federal Reserve study that found 4 out of 10 Americans could not cover an emergency expense of $400. She's personally moved by it, but that's simply because people don't have any money. They're freaking broke. And when they're broke like that, they don't want to pay to sell a house. They don't want to pay that commission, so they're going to go to Zillow. But what the hell does, I'm looking at the CFPB here. I'm sitting there going, so are you still going to go after people that screw consumers over, or are you just going to make this one big home ec class?
Probably not, because it's not in their best interest anymore.
Well, I guess what we're dealing with here is Fannie and Freddie must exist by all means necessary. So let's not worry about that world. And consumers, now just get ready, because things are going to get weird. Things will get really up, okay? And when they do, then you got to watch out for yourself. Folks, I'm telling you right now, we have a golden opportunity here to set ourselves apart from everybody. Brokers and real estate agents that are part of the syndicate, you've got a golden opportunity to set yourself apart as an advisor. Real estate appraisers, we can be consultants. Consultancy is something we are. Valuation consultation services. We can work with lawyers. We can work with attorneys to review contracts. There's big money here, and nothing's going to stop it. Nothing is stopping Zillow in their direction that they're going. Nothing is going to stop the 40% drop in real estate agents. I know some of you are like, Phil, you're just being dramatic about it. I'm telling you, man, the Expedia.com situation and the fact that more and more Americans out there do not have money and they're becoming more and more broke. And if they do have a house to sell, they're not going to spend a lot on a commission. They want to do it themselves. I'm telling you, these are changes that are taking place, and I think it's a very positive scenario for the real estate appraisal profession. I just got 2 deals this week. 2 deals this week. And I asked them, I specifically said, why are you doing it? Because I'm going to sell them on Zillow. There's 286 listings right there in Cincinnati, folks, that are not on the multiple listing service in this area. Zillow has them. That 268 listings, that's going to turn into 2,068 listings over the course of the next year. That can turn into 4,000 listings in 2 years. Get ready for it. Reposition yourself. And we're going to market. We're going to market heavy with GetMyTrueValue.com. We're going to market heavy in these directions because this is the way to go. I don't know, Kevin. I'm excited about it. Those were really good experiences, by the way. I had a really good time doing those 2 appraisals this week. I thought it was a lot of fun. Then I deal with some crazy underwriter, some you didn't bracket. You didn't bracket. You have to deal with that stuff in the secondary market. I mean, seriously, I got to do my job. It was a lot of fun. And Fannie and Freddie, listen. I want to tell you something right now. I know now that the whole system has been broken down as to how you guys are doing your PIWs and stuff. Listen, I know what you're doing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to scale the appraisal shop. This is a typical appraisal shop scale right here. And what we do is we start out with a trainee, and we start out with the interview process and make sure that person has the skill set or the constitution, if you would, to do this kind of work. Then we start them out gently. We go on them with inspections. Then we start to even let them go by themselves, even doing drive-bys. It takes some time to do that. So Fannie and Freddie, our job is not as easy as it looks. We make it look easy because we've all been doing it for over 20 years or 30 years, but it's not easy running an appraisal shop if you've never ran one before or if you haven't ran one recently. It's not that easy. Everybody's going to be talking about training. We're going to train the next generation. By the way, folks, I'll tell you something right now, and this is bragging rights. I got a millennial. I got a millennial appraiser that works for me because she just passed her license last week. I got a millennial. Can you say that? I got a millennial. Why? Because we're thinking outside the box, and we know that we have to go to people that need and want our services. 5 years into this now, Kevin, we've tackled a lot of stuff. We've covered a lot of stuff. We've gotten emotional about a lot of stuff. It's been a wild ride. We're coming up to 10 years on the HVCC anniversary. So we have the HVCC anniversary at 10 years, and we got Cuomo, of all people, signing some new legislation in New York when it comes to AMCs. We'll discuss that on a different show. And I've seen a lot of things. And you know what? I've come to the realization that there's other places to go. There's more markets out there. There's other ways to make money. And we're going to do that. We're going to make the money. That's how it ends up working out. Also, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. If you got people out there measuring homes, I think I'll plug them. Why not? I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you. I got 2 trainees. One just became a licensed appraiser. I make him take his course. It's Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds, e-learning. He's got an ANSI standard course over there. It's like an ANSI measurement course. I make all of my trainees take it. It's 7 freaking hours, man. I mean, I have no idea how he covers measuring a house for 7 hours. But I'll give Brian a free plug. Why not? It's appraiserelearning.com, right? Brian's going to be like, what? Why is Phil Crawford up there talking about my company? That's what he's going to be like. Because Fannie Mae needs you, baby. Fannie Mae, what is that? That's ANSI? There it is, right there. ANSI home measurement. What does that say? Quit moving the damn cursor. ANSI home measurement and the power of price per square foot. Created exclusively for residential appraisers. Click here to order now. And he looks like he's got 7-hour certification. Brian's gonna be like, I can't believe Phil Crawford's putting it out there. I can't believe he's doing it. It was 7 hours of CE. And if anybody's out there that wants to do work for Fannie Mae, I'd make him take that course right there. Hamp wrote it too, didn't he? Hamp Thomas, did he write that thing? Yeah, author Hamp. Yeah, Hamp's fine too. He wrote the damn thing too. Have him take that course. Everybody go call up Brian Reynolds. Make a deal with him and have him take that course. If you guys are going to be doing it this way, call up Brian Reynolds. Also call up the appraiser coach, Dustin Harris. Dustin, what does he have? What does Dustin have on webinars there? Listen, we're talking about the security of the country. They need to watch out. Besides, look, the bottom line is Lori Noble and myself, we're going to create some new education courses through A Noble Education. That's going to be available very soon. And I honestly, a Noble Education, those courses are going to be so cutting edge and jam-packed, and I can't teach nor write boring shit. I can't do it. So, Dustin, if you go to what's this called again? Appraiser Coach, right?
Yeah.
Because he did a YouTube. Dustin did a YouTube. Because his YouTube, they get about 10 or 15 views. But he has got this one YouTube where it's him measuring a house. I think it's got well over 12,000 views. The dude knows what he's doing. I think he's working in that mobile technology is what he's working with. But what has he got there? What's that called again? Mobile appraising. Yes. Everything you need to know to get started using lasers and tablets in the field. So, Fannie, call Dustin Harris. Call the appraiser coach or call Brian Reynolds and get either one of these 2 classes here, especially when it comes to measuring homes. Because I think it's going to be the best thing possible. You're going to screw up the data set. The data set of the country could get screwed up if this data is not done right. So go to these 2 guys for the sake of the country, for the sake of the security of the nation. They have the people that are going inside these properties know what they're doing. Because once you go inside, the entire dynamic changes. You're inside of an area that you have to be very, very careful in. Anything can happen. When you've been in this business for as long as we've been, 20 years, man, having somebody go out to a property inside of that home, totally different dynamic. You guys just be careful. I don't know. Call these 2 guys up. Maybe a good decision for both of you. Right now, Dustin Harris and Brian Reynolds are going, okay, why did Phil just give us a plug like that? Because I'm giving you a plug because I'm being nice. I'm trying to be a nice guy, and I won't critique your podcast. So there you go. You know you're good when you can talk about your competitors and be like, it's okay, you can use them.
But have they been on for 5 years?
No, they have not been on for 5 years. No, I think Brian just started his, actually. It kind of talks like that. You like another guy, Blake, too. What's his name? Blaine Fine. He's very a Zen guy, and he's very. So today I went and had a ham sandwich before I had my appraisal done. But I looked down and I realized I bought it at a 7-Eleven, and it's a turkey sandwich. But that's okay. Very nice guy, too. They're all very nice guys, and they're all out there looking out for the profession. But I will tell you one thing, though, folks. When it comes to what's going on at Fannie Mae, I just don't know how it can be good for the taxpayers, and I don't know how it can be good for the country, period. If it gets to the point in this country where these 2 entities have got to exist in order for the American dollar to exist and the government to exist and the country to exist, then, folks, there are bigger problems in this country than you'd ever imagine. And I'm going to sit here and have some fun and make some money. I'm going to run my business and have a good time doing it. So I hope you do the same thing as well, because, look, there's lots of opportunities. Every single time that Fannie or Freddie or anybody, these guys, Zillow, any of these market disruptors come into an area, come into a space, lots of opportunities for appraisers, lots of opportunities for real estate agents on the advisor side now, and lots of opportunities for loan officers. You just got to change the way that you do things. Your perception of reality's got to change. And we're going to help appraisers out big time when it comes to getmytruevalue.com, getting that word out for consumer protection in the home buying process. Even Mayor Pete, do you remember Mayor Pete is running for president? I don't know his last name. I can't say his last name right, and I know I'm going to screw it up. So he even said in a recent speech that I was watching, he's reading off some of the key talking points that he had for his campaign. It was like climate change, racial equality, things like that. He also put in there consumer protection. He put consumer protection right up there with all of the other big things. So, folks, it's going to be on everybody's mind for the next 2 years. Jump on over, get on board, make it happen, because our businesses are going to be transforming. And I am extremely excited about it. Now, we're going to have another show in what, Kevin, 2 weeks? As most of you know, my son, he's a great big travel baller. He's a travel baseballer. And I'm going to be extremely busy over the course of May and June and into July, actually. So it will be a little bit difficult to get a weekly show out. But we will be back in 2 weeks. We've got some new information coming out of New York. I do want to talk a little bit more about that AMC legislation, especially when it comes to valuations and how AMCs are allowed to order valuations. Very, very important. So, again, thank you guys. 5 years. Thank you very much for all of the support. Couldn't have done it without any of you. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show for this week. And as always, I would like to thank you for listening. As we journey through the mysteries and complexities that are, in fact, the real estate appraisal business, I would like to thank my producer, Kevin Kenny, for being here for 5 years with me, for his thoughtful insights and knowledge. God willing, we're going to be back here very soon, continuing to report from the front lines of the real estate market. In the meantime, you kiss your spouse, you hug your children, enjoy your day, be safe in the field. You've been listening to Phil Crawford on Voice of Appraisal. We'll talk very soon.